Okay, Nick, as we look at 2016 now, December closes things out and really on a pretty high note for the economy of Oregon.
Right, Oregon's unemployment rate dropped to 4.6% in December, so a big drop from November's rate of 5%. And overall, Oregon's unemployment rate is lower than it was the year before. When we look at 2016 and take the average unemployment rate for the year, it was 4.9%, which is the lowest Oregon's unemployment rate has been since 1995. So, very low unemployment in Oregon right now.
So we're talking about really historic numbers for Oregon.
Right, yeah. So you have to look back 20 years to see this low level of unemployment.
When you compare like what's going on right now in the economy versus the other good times in the mid 90s, and what's really been the driver for all of this job creation that we've seen in the last year?
Well, all industries are adding jobs. There isn't a big sector or major sector that's cutting jobs right now. So we're seeing a really broad-based growth that's not just in the Portland area. It's also occurring in the other metro areas and in rural areas of Oregon. So we're now finally, after years of economic recovery, seeing a really broad-based job growth.
So, what industries in particular are looking good right now? Who added jobs last month?
In December, professional business services, which is a large, broad industry that always seems to be adding a lot of jobs, added the most jobs with 1,200 jobs. And the government sector added 1,100 jobs, mostly in local government, which includes K through 12 public education. That's where we saw a lot of job growth compared to the year before.
Knowing these numbers are seasonally adjusted, is it unusual that construction and manufacturing would have such strong months in December?
Well, the construction is a very fast growing industry in Oregon right now. It had the fastest job growth over the last year. So even when we adjust for seasonality, there's a little less construction activity in December, but it's still more than what we typically see in December. So it results in economic gain. And so, yeah, construction is adding jobs also.
So when you look again at the numbers here, with the labor force has been growing for quite some time, there seemed to be a little bit of a leveling off there.
Yeah, the labor force is growing a lot in Oregon, and that has to do with the strong job growth. So people are moving to Oregon to get these jobs, or people who weren't working are jumping back into the labor force. So although we see a long-term decline in labor force participation rate, the share of the population that's working or looking for work due to demographic reasons, such as aging baby boomers and fewer young people working, we're seeing enough job growth that it's bringing back some of the labor force participation, and over the last year we've seen the participation rate rise.
So the job growth, as you're talking about being broad-based, then we're looking at high-wage jobs as well as jobs that are more minimum wage. So it's really been across the spectrum. It sounds like, even from a wage perspective.
Right, since most industries are adding jobs, jobs are being added across high wage jobs, medium wage jobs, and low wage jobs. So some of the fastest growing industries are healthcare, which is a higher than average paying industry, construction, which is a little bit higher, pretty close to average, and leisure and hospitality, which is a lower than average wage. They're all growing fast.
It looks like there has been a job growth percentage over the year of 3% or a little bit over. Can you kind of give us some context for that? Is that really, really strong? Is that average? How does that kind of fit on the continuum here?
Now, Oregon's private sector job growth has been 3% over the last year. Total job growth a little bit slower, 2.9%, but really fast compared to other states and compared to the U.S. So Oregon's over-the-year job growth rate of 2.9%, much faster than the U.S. job growth rate of 1.5%.
So Oregon, through 2016 and last month included, has a lot of positive momentum. Is it built up so much that you kind of see this kind of carrying forward for a while? Or I realize it's kind of a month-to-month deal, but looking at the trend over the long term, Oregon's got some really strong positive momentum going here, it seems.
Right, a lot of positive momentum. In November, we added 5,200 jobs. In December, 5,000 jobs. That's faster than what we have been seeing throughout 2016 on average, and is faster than the previous years, which saw some really strong job growth also.